Hello, my name is Danny, and I'm going to review The Lost City of Z. It has Charlie Hunnam, Robert Pattinson, Sienna Miller, Tom Holland. Richard Lawson of Vanity Fair says one of 2017's best movies. I feel like it just has to say that on the cover. I seriously don't know why they had to have that on the cover. Okay, yeah. The runtime is 140 minutes, and that's going to be my first note, is that it's very long. 2 hours and 20 minutes. I'm just going to tell you right now, it's all for nothing. I don't understand why that had to be such a long movie. So here we go. Ready for this? By the way, I'm going to start saying this more often. I, Danny Boss, watch a lot of movies from 2000 to current in movie theaters. I just saw it, and you can see that review if you go back and look at my reviews that I've done so far. I watch movies for the one time, and then I review it very rawly. There's my notes. I write down notes. I do the review. I don't do research. I hardly know who most of the actors are. Especially with movies I've never seen before, especially if they're from 2002 or 2004. Some obscure movie from Britain or something. I mean, I watch a lot of different things. So if you like this review, hit subscribe. I'm just going to say that right now because I do a lot of different movies. And I don't just do the current ones in theaters. I don't live in LA or New York. So I'm going to do a variety of different things in the future. So, yep. Okay, let's get started on this. The movie starts out, I really knew nothing about this coming in. I know it's on my list of movies to watch. I know it's from this year. It has obviously all these stars in it. So I thought whatever it's about, finding some lost city should be pretty exciting adventure piece, maybe like Australia, or I think I was kind of comparing it to just some different movies where it's an adventure, and it's fun, and there's a drive to the ending, because that's where we're going, obviously. It's what we have to wait for. It actually says on this thing that the Fawcett family, that this characters are, that's a real story. It says at the end about that they were part of history. So I was expecting something. I just didn't know what. So when it starts off, it has this hunting scene, and in the first 5 minutes, you can tell, number one, that he's rich. Number two, he's English. Number three, he's in the scene of military where hunting is sports. And five, that he comes from a crappy lineage because his father got disgraced. You can tell all that in the first 5 minutes. So I was kind of intrigued, and I was like, okay, I'll give this a chance. We'll see how this goes. After that, it just kind of comes to a halt. So I watched this movie for the first 45 minutes, and this is what we find out. The year is 1906, that the main character, Fawcett, gets told that there's a Bolivia and Brazil expedition for them having a war over rubber. And he gets sent there for kind of a last chance to redeem his family name. And so he goes, and he does the expedition, and he comes back with proof that, with a legend that there's some lost city that nobody's ever discovered, and he wants to go do that. So literally, the first 45 minutes was for nothing. We have to wait 45 minutes to find out that there's a legend and he wants to go expedite and be an explorer instead of being the military guy and the expediter that he got sent to Brazil and Bolivia for. So they could have just cut out the first 45 minutes. There's really no reason for it. It took that long to figure out what the movie's about, for him to figure out that there's actually Lost City. Yeah. So I'm 5 minutes into this review. That's all I've done. That's all the movie did. 45 minutes. Wait that long. Just cut it to that point. Could be an hour and a half movie. All right. So other than that, this movie covers about 20 years of history in the Brazilian jungle. The natives are very interesting. They must have really learned a lot of things down there, even when the main character in the movie is talking about them, how they're able to create a village and create farming and not kill more than they need, especially with stunning fish for food instead of fishing for food. And they have a system that doesn't kill the fish right away. It's a lot of interesting stuff in this movie. It really is. The whole war scene is when the English are against the Germans and they're starting to use chemical warfare. I had to look that up to see if it was even true. It's really hard to follow the storyline. You get kind of lost because it is a very slow movie. But when they start talking about the war scene, because, well, I'll let you watch, but he gets sent into war and we have to learn about this chemical warfare. That's real history, folks. I mean, that's really what happened. So this is a very interesting movie. It covers some different things. It's about a very old time. And whenever you're watching a movie like this, people are trained to talk a certain way. They're trained as actors to do certain things a certain way so that they're appropriate for the time period. It doesn't mean it's interesting. It doesn't mean we really had to make a movie about it. And then, I hate to say this about the ending, but really it's the only other thing to say for me. Yeah. It goes and does a Star Wars little scrolling words down the screen at the end, and it tells you that 100 years later, like America, the great country that we are, found out that there really is a lost city of Z. But in this movie, nobody actually discovers it. You're going to watch this whole movie and you might really appreciate the war battles, and you might really enjoy the jungle and all the creatures and what people have to endure to survive. And the acting, honestly, it's okay, but after Spider-Man, I'm not going to appreciate, what's his name? Tom Holland. Yeah, Tom Holland. I'm glad he got into a serious movie like this instead of Spider-Man, because I'm not going to like that Spider-Man ever. And if they make 2 more or whatever, like they usually do, I'm not going to watch them because that first one was ridiculous. And it kind of ruined his name for me. So I'm kind of glad he did something better. I totally did not recognize Robert Pattinson. So if I have to put this as a plus for him, I'll do that, because I've always liked him ever since Country Strong. But, yeah, other than that, I have to give this movie a D. I won't be brutal, and I don't give too many movies F, but it's a solid D. Not much of a point, covers a long time of history in 2 hours and 20 minutes of a long movie that's very slow going, and it has a lot of useless material that could have been totally condensed. And I think they just wanted to try and be an epic movie to stand out with all the great movies that we've had so far in 2017. So, D, my name's Danny. Please hit subscribe. We'll see you next time.